York's classic rock, Q1043.
We welcome the Edge this morning to Q104.3.
Hi, Jim. How you doing?
I'm doing fine, but how are you doing? This is such an important day for you. Today, U2 fans, who I'm sure are very excited about this, will be able to not only get a new remastered version of the eight-time Grammy-winning album, How to Dismantle an Atomic Bomb, but also how to reassemble an atomic bomb.
Yes. What we're calling the Shadow album. Yeah, and they're both collections that I really have such a deep connection with. The first one, How to Dismantle an Atomic Bomb, it was one of those albums that we fought very hard to get out as we wanted it to be. Um, it was a difficult birth, as they say, but we were super proud of that album and how it worked over the years. I mean, so many of those songs were still playing live in our shows, so that's always a testament to the quality of the material. So that's fantastic. And we've done immersive mixes, which I oversaw personally of How to Dismantle an Atomic Bomb. So that record is sounding the best it's ever sounded, I think.
Right, and
But then
there's a bonus track as well, right?
yeah, we put Fast Cars on there as well, which what was not on the original. I think it was on a deluxe version. So that's a cool addition. But we're super excited about the Shadow album, which is a whole different thing. And really it was the product of me coming back to the project after our run of shows in the Sphere in Vegas, as everyone probably knows, certainly U2 fans would know. So there was a film version that we put in an immersive experience version of that show, which is also now in the Sphere. But when I was done with that project, I got home, realized that we had basically 6 weeks to deliver this all the material for the reissue of How to Dismantle an Atomic Bomb. And what was being proposed as the sort of collection of, you might call them outtakes and rarities, was I felt a little disappointing. It was a lot of radio edits and video edits of existing songs on the album. And I was like, no, I think there's gotta be some more interesting outtakes and things that we could include that will really make it worthwhile for our fans to buy this collection.
And
So I
that's when
went,
you went to your archives.
that's exactly right. I went into my archive, which is still on these recordable CDs back from the 2003, 4, 5 era. And I went into like our weekly reference rough mixes. So at the end of a week, if something had happened that we thought was interesting, a mix or a breakthrough of some kind, we'd put it on a CD. So I had all these weekly CDs there. And as I was going through the different outtakes, I realized we have actual treasure trove of incredible material here. And some of these songs were so good, I was like, "Ooh," asking myself, why didn't this make the album? This is like right up there with some of the best songs that we had from that era. And at the time, I think it was we just ran out of road. You know, we had a deadline. We were in a very creative period, but you know, when it comes to the final crunch, you got to go with the tracks that are ready. And some of these were just needing final lyrics, final vocals, final mixes. So I
So
called
did
Paul, and he came over.
so did you go back and add whatever it was that needed to be added to make these complete works?
We did. I mean, not in every case because some of them were complete. Some of them just needed mixing. In some cases, I just did harmony vocals in a couple of places at Bono's request to just fill out the sound a bit. And then some really did need new lyrics and new vocals, and that took a little. That was mostly what we spent our time doing was working on the lyrics and new vocals. But we were just blown away and super excited about these tracks. Really, I mean, they really could have been on the album, and some of them, maybe looking back, we might regret they weren't. But we
Well,
played,
is it common practice to record more material than there is room for?
in our case, our process over the last, 10 studio albums is to generate a lot of material and then kind of go through it and find the best songs. So there's always, a bit of material that's left over. In the case of How to Dismantle an Atomic Bomb, because of the way we kind of almost rebooted halfway through the recording process, bringing Steve Lillywhite in, who was our long-term producer and guy who helped us mix a lot of our best songs. And in that process, in the interim, we were in the studio a lot, like trying to develop some new songs to play to Steve and say, "Hey, Steve, look, it's not just the stuff that we've been playing you that's been recorded. We've also got all this other stuff that if you really like any of it, we can include that in the project as well." So there was a very discerning, like concerted effort to generate a lot of material towards that middle period of the album recording. And that's what you're hearing. And it's also very guitar driven stuff. I think in some ways it's maybe even more true to our original creative impulse than the full collection of How to Dismantle an Atomic Bomb, because these are the guitar driven songs. These are the early kind of U2-esque songs from those sessions. That's what we were trying to really get back to, was that essential guitar driven post-punk sound of the U2's first two albums.
So to mark the 20th anniversary of How to Dismantle an Atomic Bomb, the set is being released today, as well as How to Reassemble an Atomic Bomb. But a week from today, Black Friday, Record Store Day, there will be a very special limited edition standalone vinyl version of How to Reassemble an Atomic Bomb that people can get.
Yes, yes. I mean, these days, I like a lot of music fans. I love the artifact of the vinyl record. There's something eternal about that object, because everything's so ephemeral with these digital files. And so we're very excited about that vinyl version.
Do you have a copy?
No, not yet.
Because I'm really curious. It's going to be limited edition black and red marble vinyl.
Yeah,
So
I
it's
haven't
it,
yet to see
it's gonna
it.
it's gonna look, really cool. And that'll
Wow.
be a week from today. And of course, if you go to u2.com, you'll be able to get all the information because there are several different formats for these recordings. And you can get the information at u2.com. So it's been a long time now. You've been successful for a long, long time. One of the most successful bands in the world. Yet today is the day of another release. Do you still get the butterflies in your stomach? Do you still get that feeling of excitement that some new U2 is going out into the world that you gave birth to?
I absolutely do. And we approach music as we did when we were 16, 17 years old. We are at core, U2 are just a bunch of music fans who decided to form a band. So I still relate to how I felt, when I went to buy the first Clash album or the first Ramones album. That sense of excitement about, the artifact itself. And I don't think we'll ever lose that. I think that's what drives us, is the sort of naive, pure excitement of what music can mean and does mean to me and to music fans generally. So we never approach it in a kind of hard-bitten professional way. It's, to us, it's still magic, and it really will always be.
So when you did go back into your archive, there was a real sense of discovery and excitement when you came across this material.
There certainly was, and some other real insights. Maybe because of what was going on in the world at that time. This was 2004. This was kind of the Iraq War, and a lot of our songs were relating to both the global issues of weapons of mass destruction, and also on a very sort of personal, small scale, the sort of personal experiences that we'd been going through. Bono had just lost his father. There's some stuff happening in my family with some health crises. So there was the atomic bomb of that we're referencing is both the global and the very personal. But those lyrics, as a result, of the songs that make up How to Reassemble the Atomic Bomb are, they seem like they could have been written last week. Because of course now unfortunately we're kind of, it's like the sequel with the war in Ukraine and what's going on in the Middle East. There's so much of the similar sense of concern, that we're all trying to process. So these song lyrics seem very relevant right now, and that's what I was blown away by, and why I was playing them to Bono with such excitement. Is I was like, look, listen to these lyrics. This is so what we're going through again.
Well, it's How to Dismantle an Atomic Bomb, the 20th anniversary release, and How to Reassemble an Atomic Bomb. Today is the day of release. Special vinyl record store day edition will be out next Friday. U2.com. That's where you can find out all the information. Of course, the album's released on Island Records, and we thank you so much, The Edge, for
Jim,
taking time with us this morning to talk about this exciting new project.
thank you, Jim. Always a pleasure.
New York's classic rock, Q1043.